right, ladies, this is Coach Alex. So I'm going to give you the first 10-minute workout that you're going to do right from home. You don't need any equipment, maybe a mat if you want a mat, or if you're already on carpet. The only thing you will need is either like a chair, a box, a table, and I'll show you once we get there, what that looks like. So we're going to start with glute bridges. So this is going to work the backside of your glutes, the back of your legs, a little bit of your core area. This is really good if you have lower back pain. A lot of times lower back pain comes from weak glutes and weak core. So it's really good if you have lower back pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay down. Hands are going to be on your side. Knees are going to be bent. You want your feet about 6 to 8 inches off the ground. And what we're going to do, we're going to keep the heels down, hands down. We're going to thrust up into the air. We're going to squeeze the butt cheeks and then back down. So we're going to start with 10 repetitions of these. You want to make sure the heels are down. And you want your heels about, like I said, 6 to 8 inches. Somewhere where when you come up into that thrust, your ankles and your knees are aligned. And you want to feel your butt and your legs. If you start to feel the front of your legs, your feet are probably too close. If you feel the back of your legs more than your glutes, your feet are probably too far out. Okay, so this is the first exercise. We're going to do 10 reps here. So let's go ahead and knock out 10 reps. 3, 4, we're squeezing at the top. 5, nice and high. 6, kind of a slight pause at the top. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's going to work kind of lower body, your glutes, and the back of your legs, like I said, a little bit more. All right, second exercise we're going to do, we're going to kind of work the hip area. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our feet wide, knees are going to be bent, and we're going to roll both knees over until they both touch the ground, all right? Keeping the heels down, we're going to rotate the other way, so we're not lifting the heels off the ground until both knees touch on that side. We're going to do 10 on each side. So we're rotating back and forth, 1, 1. So this is 2 for me, so let's go ahead and start these. We're going to do 10 on each side, so that's 3. We're trying to get both knees to touch down on the ground. You may notice one side tighter than the other, especially if you have any lower back issues. This is a really good exercise for lower back pain. So this is 5, and naturally you'll scoot up, so you'll watch me kind of scoot up, and that's very normal. 6, really try to get both knees down. If you're struggling to keep your hands off the ground, you can put them back behind you. So that's a little bit of a modification, but again, we're still trying to get both knees down. 7 right here, rotate on each side, both knees down. 8, let's do 2 more. 9, let's do 1 more. 10. Good, so that really works the hips. It loosens up the hips, it also strengthens it. So if you have lower back pain, this is a really great exercise. All right, third exercise, we're gonna go into a tabletop position. So we're doing bird dogs. This is gonna work a lot of core and balance, all right? So it looks a little bit easier than it actually is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna extend the right arm, and then we're gonna extend the left leg. So opposite leg, and we're gonna pause for a second. We don't want this back leg to come too far up because then it creates kind of an arch. We want to keep it a little bit lower than the hips. So not up here, right about there. So we're going to pause for a second, put the hand back down, and we're going to switch sides. So left hand up, right leg back. Kind of pause, squeeze. We're going to do 10 total. So I want to control a little bit of pause at the top. So this is 2. This is 3. 4. So we're going to do 10 total, so 5 on each side. We do 1 more. 5. This will be the last one. 5. Good. And that is the third exercise, a lot of core, a lot of balance, a little bit of even shoulders in there. So we're kind of working the arms a little bit. And the last and final exercise, we're gonna work lower body one more time. We're gonna do squats. So the way we're gonna do squats, this is a great way so it takes pressure off your knees, your form is correct, and it's a great way to get started with squats rather than just jumping into something more advanced. So what you're gonna do is you need I would say a chair, a box, maybe even a table. The lower the object is, the more difficult. The higher it is, the easier it is. So what we're gonna do, go ahead and grab your box. We're gonna start seated on your chair, box, whatever it is. If you do have a chair, just make sure it's sturdy, it's not sliding back. We want to start with your feet about shoulder width apart. So think shoulders about shoulder width apart, and then toes slightly pointed out, just very, very slightly. Okay? So that's where we're starting with our feet. Then you want your feet about 6 to 8 inches away from the box. So the main goal is we want the ankle aligned with the knee. What we don't want is the heels too far back and now the knees are going over the toes. We always want the knee behind the toe because that takes a lot of pressure off your knees. So we're going to start seated. Try not to swing into it. We're just going to stand up and then we're going to control back down. Sit and then back up. We're going to do 10 of these. 3. I'm going to show you from the front as well. So we're here. Stand. 4. Do 10. 5, and what I want you to really pay attention to is your knees. So you want to make sure the knees aren't caving in, right, on the way down or on the way up. You really want to press the knees out so they stay outside the toes. So on the way up, you can see I kind of push my thighs out. I don't change my feet placement. I just push the knees and my thighs out. What that does is take pressure off your knees, but it engages your glutes because, like I said, weak glutes usually end up, causing some sort of injury or lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain. We just want to make sure we really engage the glutes. So we're going to knock out 10 of those. Go ahead and do 10. And that's going to be your final exercise. So that's the 4 exercises. You're going to do one after another. Once you're done an entire round, you can take a little break if you need to, and then you're going to do one more round. So it's going to be a total of 2 rounds of those 4 exercises.